Hello everyone. I'd like to welcome you to today's webinar, which is called Dial in Your Wedges. I want to thank our primary sponsor, Medicus Golf, and we want to thank Tiffany Green's Golf Club here in Kansas City, Missouri at our indoor training facility. We have 18 holes, big driving range. We actually just finished our new wedge range and our new par 3 course that has 12 holes. So the subject today is how to dial in your wedge. And there's basically 3 different types of wedge shots that your wedge shots are going to fall in these 3 different categories. And I want to talk about this because one of our members here, a man named Mike Martin, we were talking about this the other day, and I was showing him the 3 different shots. So I thought, well, this would be a good subject because this way he can actually go back to the video and recap what we've talked about. So let's first talk about the 3 shots. The first one is when you have a wedge and you're making a full swing. So it'd be a full swing wedge. So let's say you're inside of your full swing distance though, but you're farther from the green than you want to be. That would be related to what we call a distance wedge. And I'm going to go through each one of these. And then finally, let's say you're 35, 40 yards in. Now we're into what's called a finesse wedge. So 3 of these categories, all your wedge shots will basically fall in there. So let's talk about the first one, which is a full swing wedge. You would set up like you normally set up to hit any other shot. You're going to take the club back with your normal backswing, the normal downswing, which starts from the ground forward, so it's pushing into the ground, moving the pressure weight forward, arriving at impact with a flat left wrist, and then your full finish. So that would be just a full wedge shot. So let's say, for instance, a distance wedge, what happens is it's less than a full swing. So there are theories that subscribe that you take it to 7:30, 9 o'clock, 10:30. And that is going to work for some players. But most players will not be able to accomplish that goal. So what we do is we have people take it back to their hands to 9 o'clock for their distance wedges, and then they vary the shaft location and the exit location to give them 9 different distances and 9 different trajectories. So let's take a look at that real quick. So I've got a metallic sticker here, and I've got this on a green noodle, so you can hopefully see it a lot better. So let's talk about the trajectory. So if I want to hit what I refer to as a leading edge wedge shot, that would be with the most forward lean of the club shaft. That means when I strike the ball, this is the approximate angle, as you can see, of that green noodle. So that's going to be my lowest trajectory and finishing right here. That's going to give me my lowest trajectory, pretty much the shortest distance. Then we're going to have what's called a sole wedge. So that means that you're arriving at the ball at the normal loft of the club. You can see how the angle has changed here from there to here. And then, again, you can change the exit depending on how high you want the ball to go and how far you want it to go. And then we have what's called a trailing edge. So this time you're hitting it with the bounce of the club. So at this impact, you feel like the hands are going past your head. You can see how much the angle has changed in the noodle representing the club face. So we've gone from here, which is pretty much way up, almost straight up in the air, to here. You can see how much flattening there is between those. So I'm going to take this off for a second. So let's say I want to hit the lowest, most penetrating shot, almost like a punch shot. I'm going to have the most weight forward, the hands the most forward, and I'm going to have the shortest follow through. All right? That's going to give me a shot that launches low, goes out a pretty good distance. Again, from 9 o'clock, now I'm going to swing down to a normal lie angle. You'll see how the shaft's more in line now. This is more out of line. Now I can do that same finish to right here. That will change the trajectory. It'll go higher in the air. So to hit my highest shot, I'm going to come down and try to hit it with a bounce. So if the club head actually feels like, the shaft's vertical, feels like the club head's going past my hands, that holds the club face to the sky with the biggest finish. That's going to give me the highest trajectory shot. So by changing this location and this location, I get 9 different trajectories, 9 different distances. So now let's say that I'm 35 to 40 yards in. Now that's less than what my distance wedge would be with this 60. So obviously it'd also be less than my 52 or my 56 or how many wedges you carry. So we need to change a couple of things. So remember, the other ones, the other swings were initiating from the ground up, all right, into the ball, whether it's a full swing or the distance wedge. Now there's some variations on distance wedge we refer to as a flat-footed wedge and some others, but I'm not going to get into those variations today. So now I have what's called the finesse wedge. So if I was going to hit this shot at the camera, I would narrow my stance substantially, and I would aim my body a little bit left. I'm going to set the club to where it's, again, almost vertical. From there, I'm going to just pick the club up with my hands and arms. You remember, in full swing, we start from the ground up. In this swing, we start from the club head down to the golf ball and then release the body so the club works more around us. So it would look similar to this. It'd be like your right elbow, if you're right-handed, would go around your rib cage while the club head stays out. It would come down to the golf. Sorry about that. So the right elbow would work around. Now the left elbow works around. So the player would look similar to this. Okay? From this side it looks like this. So we're allowing the club to go past our hands and keep the torso and the body turning, so if the club exits pretty much on our heel line with the face pointed almost straight up. That would be the finesse wedge shots. So you're a little bit open, the shaft is more vertical, you pick the club up, you drop the club, and you just turn right through it. Again, you don't want to be moving your weight back and forth with the finesse wedge. You pick the club up, let it drop to the ball, and as it's dropping to the ball, you then turn your body out of the way. So now you have 3 different wedge shots, or wedge categories. You have the full swing, you have the distance wedge, and then you have the finesse wedge. So learn to practice all these. Don't necessarily take your wedge swing at a 40-yard shot. Don't make your big wedge swing and then decelerate coming all the way down. Just make a smaller swing and accelerate through it. If you watch this year's Masters, when they were all warming up off the green, virtually every player was hitting these little pitch shots like this. You see the club just exiting right around them. I mean, it looks like it's going way, 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 way left when they do that. In this angle, it looks like this. Front angle. And face on angle. What you'll also notice is a lot of the players, when they take this up, it's almost like they're leaning towards target a little bit. Because you never want to lean away when you're doing any of these wedge shots. That's going to result in fat shots. That means your steady head is not being steady. So at the end of the day, my steady head is there, and I'm just turning through the shot. So I hope these 3 shots helped you. Work on these. If you need any help with it, just let us know, and we'll see you next week.